And our top focus today. Iran announced the temporary closure of the Strait of Hormuz on Tuesday for live fire drills in a rare show of force as its negotiators held another round of indirect talks with the United States over the Islamic Republic's disputed nuclear program. It was the first time Iran has announced the closure of the key international waterway through which 20% of the world's oil passes since the US began threatening Iran and rushing military assets to the region. Such a rare and perhaps unprecedented move could further escalate tensions that threaten to ignite another war in the West Asia. As the talks began, Iran's state media announced that Iranian force had fired live missiles towards the strait and would close it for several hours for safety and maritime concerns. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, meanwhile, warned that the strongest army in the world might sometimes receive such a slap that it cannot get back on its feet. Iran's foreign minister later adopted a different tone, expressing optimism about the talks and saying that a new window has opened for reaching an agreement. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump, who scrapped an earlier nuclear agreement with Iran during his first term, has repeatedly threatened to use force to compel Iran to agree to constrain its nuclear program. Iran has said that it would respond with an attack of its own. Trump has also threatened Iran over the killing of protesters during the deadly crackdown. There appears to be a cautious diplomatic progress in the long-running nuclear standoff between Iran and the United States. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said that both sides have reached a general understanding on key guiding principles during a second round of indirect talks held in Geneva. However, he made it clear that this does not mean a final deal is imminent. Have a look at this report.
U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance on Tuesday said in some ways the United States' diplomatic talks with Iran went well, as both parties agreed to meet afterward. He told Fox News the president is trying to find a solution as the Iranians cannot have a nuclear weapon. While Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said the two sides reached an understanding on main guiding principles in talks aimed at resolving their long-standing nuclear dispute. He said that does not mean a deal is imminent.
A new window of opportunity has opened, under which we had the second round of the negotiations with the United States earlier today here in Geneva. We are hopeful that negotiation will lead to a sustainable and negotiated solution which can serve the interest of relevant parties and the broader region.
The indirect discussions between U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and U.S. President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner alongside Araghchi were mediated by Oman. Its foreign minister Badr al-Busaidi said in a social media post much work is yet to be done, but Iran and the U.S. were leaving with clear next steps. A U.S. official said Iran would make detailed proposals in the next 2 weeks to close gaps in the nuclear talks. Responding to comments by Trump that regime change in Iran might be the best course, the country's 86-year-old supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei warned that any U.S. attempts to depose his government would fail. The U.S. has sought to expand the scope of talks to non-nuclear issues such as Iran's missile stockpile. Iran says it is willing only to discuss curbs on its nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief, and that it will not give up uranium enrichment completely or discuss its missile program.